What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Pop Culture with me, JC, where you can see all kinds of pop culture content. Could be anything from movie reviews to EA Sports College Football news, or what we have today, movie news. That's right. We got huge news coming out for Superman. You guys know, I've got a playlist on the channel. I'll try and put a card right here. Been trying to put out news updates for this movie. Going to continue to do it leading up to its release in July 2025. But probably the most exciting piece of news we've got yet, James Gunn drops it on our heads yesterday. Surprisingly, our first look at the new Superman suit and David Corenswet inside. Looking pretty good if you're asking me. I know there's been some mixed reactions online, but I don't understand that. I think that this is awesome that James Gunn hit us with this surprise. Like I said, I got full faith in James Gunn and what he's doing with this DCU, what he's doing with this Superman movie. I'll continue to say that leading up to this film's release until it proves me otherwise. But that being said, of course, we can look at the details. We can nitpick. We can have some fun and shit here. So let's do it. Let's dive in. Let's pull up this picture. Let's go over some of the hidden details inside, analyze it a little bit, and talk a little bit about David Corenswet as Superman. All right. So obviously, if you hadn't had a chance yet, if you was living under a rock yesterday, didn't see this shit, this is our first official look at David Corenswet as Superman in James Gunn's upcoming 2025 Superman film. And as you can see, of course, this dropped yesterday, but it dropped while I was on my way to work. Just my fucking luck, right? So didn't get a chance to talk about it, put it out on social media. That I was going to try and drop it late last night. That didn't happen. So coming out early this morning, finally getting a chance to look at it in detail and give my thoughts. Because before, I was looking at it on the phone, I couldn't even tell. I thought that they had pulled the Man of Steel promotional image. When they first introduced Henry Cavill, they kind of hid the trunks and shit, so we couldn't tell, are they there, are they not there? And looking at this on the phone, I couldn't tell either. But I see now, pulling it up on my computer, it indeed appears like they're back, guys. We got the trunks back and shit, and also that belt. Let me see if I can zoom in here on some of these details as I talk about them a little bit, and maybe we can get this a little bit enhance. Shout out to Super Troopers, enhance. Let's see here. But if you zoom in here, you can see the belt. That's pretty awesome. Pretty good touch there for him to add the belt. And then the red trunks look like they are back for the first time in a long damn time. Looks like a pretty cool look there. And the texture of the suit, when you zoom in there, is similar to kind of, I think, what they used for the Man of Steel suit and what they used in BVS and all that shit for, the Batman suits and all that. It's really good design to use as that type of, it looks good on film. And I think it's also more easier for the actors to use and shit nonetheless. But another cool detail, one of my favorite details, those boots, man. Those are fucking nice. That's one of my favorite details. I love the look of the boots. And you see the cape. You got the extra long cape draping the floor. It looks real. Remember, the Man of Steel cape was CGI. This looks like he'll actually be wearing that shit as far as I can tell. I don't think that there's hardly any CGI in this picture. I know it's crazy to say with what's going on in the background. I'll talk about that momentarily. But the boots look awesome. The trunks are there. The belt is there. All good stuff. The colors look right. We don't have that Superman Returns issue and shit where it's fucking maroon, right? So that's a plus. Look at the top here of David Corenswet. If I can see if I can zoom in a little bit on him, you can see he's got looks like the S curl a little bit there off to the side going on with the hairstyle and shit. I think obviously we knew the look was there and everything for sure. And then in the background here, you can kind of see it a little bit now. Something going on there. People have said this is probably a Brainiac Easter egg. That would make sense to me. I hope Brainiac makes an appearance. I've been fucking wanting to see that for so long. That would be really cool. We know Lex Luthor is one of the villains though also. And if you look underneath, though, what's going on outside there, looks like that could be LexCorp Tower right there, Luthor Corp Tower, right there below, the big issue going on in the sky and shit. But also, if you can tell, you can see the light reflecting off the walls and off the floor and shit. Obviously, that means that this is not necessarily a CGI image. It looks like probably some type of screen they've placed behind that window panel or in front of that window panel or on that window panel. So that kind of excites me as well, because maybe it means that James Gunn's trying to minimize the use of CGI in this film and shit, which I think would not be a bad idea. The less CGI, the better, so it doesn't look, we don't want to have the issue of we had with The Flash, right? I mean, you guys know I enjoyed that movie, but that was fucking terrible CGI, right? And, some recent other big, superhero releases have had same issues, so maybe they're trying to combat that by doing things a little bit differently. Certainly, for this first picture of David Corenswet, they did just that. But then also, I think I want to zoom in here on the logo, because that's something we obviously kind of already had known what it was going to look like pretty much. But if we zoom in here on his suit on the top part, you look at the logo and the top part of his suit here, it looks almost singed or dirty or something. So I guess my best guess is this picture was taking place, we know they're going through filming and shit right now, right? So maybe this was taking place, after a scene where they've been doing battle. He's been, halfway through the film. This is in the second or third act or something. His suit's looking a little worn and torn. So that was an interesting note for me, because it does look a little bit singed up here in the left corner of the logo, and then the top part of the suit looks a little bit dingy as well, like he's been through this dirt or some shit, so definitely looks like that this picture takes place at a point in the film, I guess while they were filming a scene, and he's like, damn, that looks good, let's get a shot there of him, putting on the boots, which it's really cool to me to see him, sliding on the boots. I know a lot of people didn't like the angle because of how it makes the suit kind of look right here, see how it kind of looks loose, but it's because, he's sitting down, he's moving, he's reaching for his boots and shit, and when he stands up and we get the full shot and we can see him in action, I think it's going to look really tight, going to look really good. But that was one of people's nitpicks. I don't quite get it. I think it's just more about the angle of where he's sitting and everything. My only nitpick, if I'm going to talk about one here, I'm not really going to complain too much. Like I said, I think it looks great overall. Looks like Superman to me, So what can you complain about, right? The boots are back. The trunks are back. The belt's there. That's awesome. The logo's big enough. You don't have that tiny-ass logo that we've had on, not trying to harp on Superman Returns, but that suit had some problems. But we got the large logo. It looks good. The Kingdom Come kind of style logo. It looks good. My only personal nitpick that I would have changed, neckline. I don't fucking like the new 52 neckline for some reason. I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I just prefer the smaller neckline when it's, down here closer to the chest. I don't really like the raised neckline. You kind of see that I think it was Injustice did that shit too. But I most remember it from the new 52 kind of neckline. So that's not my favorite choice, but I don't think it takes away from the suit or makes or breaks it for me or anything. Overall, I think that this is great look and a good first shot, because the other thing that I wanted to point out here is, of course, when you look in that background and you see that possible Brainiac Easter egg, you see that big-ass battle going on in the sky, whatever's happening there, the thing that stands out to me is the vibrance of the colors in that, and, of course, in the picture of David Corenswet. Going to certainly be a different color palette for Superman than what Zack Snyder used and shit, so James Gunn going to bring a little bit more vibrancy to it, a little bit more liveliness, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Love the vibrant colors they use there. Seems like it's going to carry over here to Superman, but let's get a look here one more time. You see him there in all its glory. David fucking Corenswet as Superman, putting on those boots, and we're getting ready to see him here a year and a couple of months away now, get our first look. So awesome to start getting this promotional material rolling out, this marketing shit, and hopefully get to see more and more images come out and more stuff to talk about here on the channel. But before we wrap up this video, let's talk a little bit about David Corenswet's physical transformation. You can see him looking jacked there in the suit. Let's take a look at how he transformed overall. And this is pretty damn awesome. Saw this yesterday. Ungodly Raleigh, as who put this out on social media. David Corn's transformation for Superman is insane. Hell yeah, it is, man. If you look on the left, that was, prior to being cast. You look on the right, obviously that's when they were probably getting ready to start filming and shit. Complete transformation. Dude's definitely ready for the role. Also, by the way, he's also like 6'4". So we got a great Superman here cast. I like the look of the suit, and I'm super excited for what James Gunn's bringing to the project. I think that, the naysayers just quiet down. It'll be okay when you see the suit in action. I promise I think you're going to like it a little bit more. If you didn't like it yesterday, I don't agree with you, but hey, let me leave you with this one more tweet here in this video. Maybe it'll bring you back around, bring your hopes back up. And this is coming from X as well. At Lantern Updates put this up, and it's a quote from the great Grant Morrison about Superman, and I just thought this was really fucking good, and it really kind of shuts down the naysayers for me for this David Corenswet suit, because I think it does fit. But it's an amazing post about how Grant Morrison views Superman and how the first look image of David Corenswet perfectly encapsulates it. So check this out with the picture on the screen one more time. This, like I said, coming from Grant Morrison. He was perched with one knee drawn up, chin resting on his arms. He looked totally relaxed, and I suddenly realized this is how Superman would sit. He wouldn't puff out his chest or posture heroically. He would be totally chilled. If nothing can hurt you, you can afford to be cool. A man like Superman would never have to tense against the cold, never have to flinch in the face of a blow. He would be completely laid back, untense. With this image of Superman relaxing on a cloud, looking out for us all in my head, I rushed back to my hotel room and filled dozens of pages of my notebooks with notes and drawings. And there it is, the mic drop right there, because I do think that fits that image of David Corenswet perfectly. Looking calm, looking relaxed and chill, but also sliding on his boots because he knows it's time to go get shit done and, help protect Earth. So pretty awesome here. First image shared by James Gunn, and I'm excited for more to come. And that's just kind of my overall thoughts here on JC's Pop Culture. But like I said, they're just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours as well. Drop them in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the first look of David Corenswet's Superman suit? How excited are you for Superman? Anything you want to share there, drop it in in the comments. Really appreciate those interactions here on JC's Pop Culture. And if you're a fan of this film, be sure to subscribe here to the channel. Going to be covering updates all the way into its lead up to its release in next July in 2025. And also, I'm talking a ton of comedy movies, horror movies, and the EA Sports College football game. So if any of that's up your alley, hop along for the ride here by hitting the subscribe button. And if you made it this far in the video, you can really help us with that YouTube algorithm just by hitting that thumbs up button. Giving this video a like will really help us out a shit ton. Having said that, I really appreciate you tuning into this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.